And the winner is Arctic Monkeys!
That subscriber content, eh? That subscriber content, it just won't go away.
It might hibernate from time to time and sink back into the swamp. I think the cyclical nature of the universe in which it exists demands it adheres to some of its rules.
But it's always waiting there, just around the corner, ready to make its way into your ears and smash through the gated payment system, sounding better than ever.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Benefits such as getting ad-free episodes a week early with pre- and post-show chat relating to the monkeys, last Shadow Puppets episodes, bonus podcasts, watch-alongs, plus helping us improve our sound with better equipment and services.
Yeah, this podcast seems like it's fading away sometimes, but with subscribers, it will never die. Thank you very much for listening. We do truly appreciate it. Don't take that the wrong way.
Yeah, we'll invoice you for the subscription if we need to.
We're Arctic Monkeys. This is Don't Believe the Hype.
That rock and roll, eh? Ladies! That sound means it's the end of the round. Time for the bonus question. Cheers, dude. That man just yawned. We're going to call it
Don't Believe the Hype.
Hello, you. Yes, this is Don't Believe the Hype, the podcast that's taking a weekly chronological look back at the discography of Arctic Monkeys. And joy of joys, or not, if it's if this album is your sort of thing, we've finished the songs from the album, so we are slowly heading towards Christmas and wrapping things up with some extra bonus episodes with me, Nick Lee, and he's got too much to discuss over a bucket of balls. He doesn't even like golf, and he's right because it's shit and it's for wankers. It's Dan Holt. Hello, Dan.
Hello. I actually don't mind. Well, I don't play golf, but I did used to play it when I was a teenager. I didn't mind it, but watching it is one of the most boring things in the world.
It
don't
really
understand
is.
that. I'll never
Really
understand
is,
people watching golf.
I'd rather watch
no
cricket than
excitement
golf,
really.
Something.
When I tried to watch it once, and I thought, well, maybe there's like just really big jeopardy in watching the shot, like it's tense. But nah, didn't even enjoy that really.
They're all good at it. That's the problem. If it was like
there's not like a Sheffield
rounds
United, is there, that just like tries to like just tries to like eke it through every time.
So holding the club the wrong way.
That's true actually. That's true actually, because in tennis at least you know the first couple of rounds you're going to get some like wild card in there playing Federer, and you don't know, maybe you will knock him out. But there's none of that, is there?
The FA Cup.
The early rounds of Wimbledon is like the FA Cup actually.
But it's like
and then Djokovic wins it.
And then then Djokovic, everyone goes home, and then that's about it.
And he doesn't get vaccinated. Ooh, contentious.
Oh god, it's
Don't mind. You know what? Don't mind it if you don't want to get vaccinated. Don't mind it. But what I do mind is someone in the public eye giving disinformation out who's in a position that people will believe and trust with no actual medical expertise. If he doesn't want to take it, I can care less. I don't give a fuck.
For the most part, I don't care about people doing what they want as long as it don't hurt anyone else and don't be a dick about it. That's fair enough.
Exactly.
That's
do what you want, mate.
And
then don't moan when people don't let you into other countries to play tennis tournaments because you're not vaccinated during a pandemic. This is out against my rights. Okay. But anyway, contentious point. Probably shouldn't get. Never bring up politics or sex during a dinner party or a podcast is what my grandma used to say.
Same thing when you're with me. Fine.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm excited because this is a big one. This is the list. It was interesting because if I recall the last set of lists, we were pretty close in all of our orderings, aside from a couple. With this one, do you think that's going to be the same, or do you think that? I think there could be a bit of a difference here.
I think because the first album was very much. I was blinded by nostalgia a lot with the first album because, as we discussed last week, the whole place where we were in our lives at the time with the first album, how we were basically living the album. But it's not been the case.
Is that a lyric alarm? You heard a lyric alarm there? Very sneaky. You didn't even realise, did you? You said blinded by nostalgia in your favourite Arctic Monkeys song.
Should we have an early lyric alarm? Let's do it.
I didn't even realise it.
It's the way I tell them. I suppose we won't be playing a song, and we won't be having a information jingle or anything, so we might as well stick that in early.
Well, I bet you thought of that one. Really, you're just saying it. I bet you had to take your batteries out your mysticism and put them in your thinking cap.
Right, I think we've discussed.
I know. That's why I said it. I listened
Ever.
back to that one this week, and I thought I'm definitely gonna keep saying it now.
If we ever get big enough to do a live show, and you say that, people in the crowd start shouting out for a lyrical arm, I'm going to have to go out and start taking names.
Oh, I wish this podcast had the potential. I wish this particular podcast had the potential to have a live show with a lot of Arctic Monkeys fans. But I don't know, tell us if you think you would travel to a live show that we'd set up in a reasonable place like London we could go to, and tell us if you chip in. If you chip in and buy a ticket, then we'll do it. Let us know in your swaves. But right now, I just don't feel like there's enough demand for it. But it would be great.
No. It would be
great. Maybe we could pull it back. If we're doing a live show of the podcast, we might even be able to get one of the band to turn up, or at least Miles.
Oh, God, do you
reckon Miles would be a good sport, like on SNL? We'd get him involved in a sketch where he's being his dirty Miles that we joke about. Do you reckon he'd be a good sport?
I think he'd do that.
I think he'd do that.
As long as we provided all the items on his rider.
Halfway through, you wouldn't know, and then the girl that we've got that he's supposed to be sleazing on, suddenly she's like, we crossed the line, and we'd be on like an episode of Panorama or something.
Who do you reckon had crossed that line?
I don't want to have to see Miles's agent getting a girl to sign an NDA backstage. Thanks, I don't want to see that ever again.
Not again.
again. Presumed.
Well, if you do want to listen to
someone
a podcast,
famous that did do that? No, that's not out yet.
That'll be. I tuned into
the next one.
Tonight, hoping it was that, but it wasn't.
About half an hour before, I was all geared up for it, and then I saw that it was about that Abercrombie and Fitch guy, and I was a bit. I'll be honest. I know it sounds really bad because you shouldn't be, but I was a bit disappointed.
I turned.
He's not exciting.
I turned into Uncle Bryn on Gavin and Stacey. I was like, "Well, I'm bitterly disappointed." But if you do want to listen to
it's not the thing you expect to see when you're putting the bins outside Russell Brand's house, is it?
You're going through the bins outside Russell Brand's house more like, apparently. But if you are interested in listening to a podcast featuring myself and Dan that has the potential to have a good little live tour and stuff eventually, then check out Liquor and Lyrics. The link will be in the episode description, and there'll be a trailer halfway through.
I did just, before we jump into our lists, I did just want to have a brief, we don't like to talk about the personal lives much, but as it has been in the news at time of recording, in the news, well, in the Arctic Monkeys arena of news, people sort of pestering the girlfriends, or Louise in particular, are they still shipping for bloody Alexa? That's the vibe that I got.
Thought
you shared it. It was held as
shipping out loud. That's one of the things I've only ever seen written down. I didn't know what you meant for a minute.
Oh, I do plenty of shipping for couples to get together on TV shows. Don't you worry. Not Love Island and stuff. Only fictional ones. Not mental. Just the fake ones. No, but the because it was Matt's girlfriend that shared this, right? Very supportive friend. So Louise put it out, but then Matt's girlfriend also did a post, didn't she? Whose name escapes me. Forgive me.
Amanda Blank.
Amanda Blank, that's it. My mind went blank for Amanda Blank then.
Your mind went Amanda.
I want Amanda Blank. But I think, it's mad. Like, because the shipping for Alexa, some of them are shipping for Taylor, which is odd because I've never really been into the couples stuff anyway, but if I was, I suppose I was very aware of Alexa because they were kind of a it couple at the time, and I was similar age, so maybe a couple young age celebrities was more interesting then. I was very interested in his relationship with Ariel Vandenberg, purely because she was hot, very hot, because she was.
And that's what it comes down to.
because she was the girl he clearly was talking about in a lot of AM songs, which made her even, or even if it isn't, in my head it was, so it made her even more enticing. And C, she knew Aaron Paul, and it was when Breaking Bad was on, and that meant Alex was hanging out with Aaron Paul, so my mind was blown in so many ways. So I was big into that relationship. Taylor completely passed me by, actually. It was never really a thing that I cared about. I always thought they were an odd couple whenever I'd see them, because I've got a thing about, it's just me, I've got a thing about dating a woman that's tall, and I'm not tall, and even though Alex is tall, she was taller, and I think couples will cod when the girl's taller. Sorry,
it's an interesting one with Taylor, because I suppose his relationship with Taylor took place in that time period between AM and Tranquility Base, and then they split
They
up.
weren't in the media a lot, so we didn't see it. Yeah.
So we weren't seeing him on tour, weren't seeing Instagram stuff of him, like as we are doing with the lads, like other halves at the moment. Like they're all on tour together, having a whale of a time, and I'm very jealous. But it's funny how you say like they're all there's people like shipping. I mean, I'm saying shipping now. What the fuck?
That's a standard phrase. What are you talking about?
I know, but I've never said it. It's one of them things that I just always assumed I'd only ever see written down and wouldn't have to say. And it's just like, oh,
I love it.
I always assume people just say it on the internet and don't say it out loud because it's not necessarily.
Oh, it's not an internet thing. It's an old school thing. I don't say it because the bloody internet. It's an old school thing.
It's interesting that the shipping Alex and Taylor, because when Alex was with Taylor, there was a group of fans that were shipping Alex and Miles on Taylor's posts, and Taylor basically had to come out and block a load of them and call them. Taylor basically had to do what Louise has done now, and they all turned against Taylor because she called them out for being dickheads. And it's like,
I mean, why are they shipping for Alexa still?
It's the same way everyone hated
2010.
It's the same. Everyone hated Humbug, and now everyone's like, oh, Humbug's really good. Do more stuff like Humbug. Well, the Alexa thing, they stayed friends after they broke up. That's why she still comments on posts, like on Louise's posts, and likes them and stuff, likes pictures of Alex and stuff like that. I mean, they're good mates.
Do these people not have had relationships? Maybe not, because it's mad to me that you would. That's like the equivalent of that. If you take out the context of them being famous, right? And I think this is the most logical, like sane way of looking at it. It's like you're my friend. It's like you giving abuse to my girlfriend now, because you want me to be with someone that you knew that I broke up with in 2008. That in real life, when you put it into a no, definitely not. When you put it into the context of real life, it sounds mental for someone to do that. That's insane. Oh, that's the same thing for me with. Oh, that's a different situation, I guess, but the other way around, I guess. But like that, if I was to do that, the equivalent to you, I suppose. But but it's just absolutely insane to think of it that way. And I just think, why are you doing it? But you know what? I just thought, Nick, and tell me this might just be like absolute dog shit chat that we should bin, but just as a nice gesture, because we don't talk about the girlfriends. But what if from now, every week, we say a little nice thing about all the female partners of the boys, something we found out that week about them, or an Instagram post they did or something that we liked, just to put some positive energy out there for them.
And
share it on the socials.
Maybe get them to pocket and share it.
The business reason comes in now. No, but what do you think? We could call it the shipping forecast. Hey.
No, I've had the shipping forecast in my head for 10 minutes. I've been trying to work out what I can do.
That's what I was doing as well. But now, I think that would be nice, wouldn't it, to put some positive stuff about them out there? Why not? We could be the guys, and then Panorama will take us down because they'll go, 2 people can't be that nice, and they'll creep into our past and find out all the destructive stuff. And I'll go, ha! I don't know, we've talked about it all in here anyway.
I hope they get you first, so I know what to hide when they come for me.
Yeah, they definitely get me first, mate. But
it's genuinely gladdened my cold dead heart to see this little community they've got like on tour together, like with the kids. Alex dedicating "Do I Want to Know" to Matt's little girl Amelia was.
Oh yeah, that was nice, wasn't it? Very nice.
And so cool.
And another post about her today sat on it. Oh no, I think that was the post that Louise put, or that Amanda put about in defense of Louise. She put a picture of Matt's girlfriend. And she said at the end, like, we'll come pick you up and have a great night or whatever. And I was like, God, I want to be on that night. Yeah. So I want to be in LA, picking you up in a car, going out on a night out. I'm nice. I'm a nice fan. So let's do that. We'll do that for now. Everyone, next episode. Next episode, we're gonna put some positive energy out there for does Alex ever get close to say? I feel like there's a line in Trunkability that could almost be the shipping forecast, but it's not. You could easily have said shipping forecast anyway in Tranquility, and you wouldn't be surprised, would you?
yeah. But
I think I'm thinking of the information action ratio. To be honest, is quite similar to akin to the you can imagine him saying in the shipping forecast. Actually, that would be perfect. Yeah. But yeah, there'll be something. But maybe we'll get Stephen Merchant saying
all power to supportive wives and girlfriends.
Yes,
all power to it.
We're gonna drive it. We're gonna put it out there. There you go. New segment. There you go. Off the cuff. You heard it here first, people. Watch this now. In the interim 2 weeks before this goes out, one of them will have done something like there'll be a panorama documentary about Louise and all the terrible things that she's done, and we'll have to retract it.
Well, maybe every week we can just find an Instagram comment from one of these dickhead fans and post it, and the jingle can be it's all right to act like a knobhead.
We could do both. We could do shipping forecast, say something nice on the same post where we said something nice about one or multiple of the girlfriends. We find a dickhead post in that comment, so we go, "This is a nice thing they did," the shipping forecast, and then we go, "He thinks it's all right to act like a knobhead," and do a shame the person who's I like this. I like this. That's it. This is a thing now. You've got that, and you've got the equipment
completely
stuff.
Different podcast.
Well, no, but I think it's not very nice, and I don't think it's right. And I think that because no one who listens to this will be a part of that. They're all genuinely for the. Yeah, I don't think anyone would be doing that listens to this, would they? So everyone here will appreciate the positivity. I think we put it out on socials as well. Yeah, why not?
I think the people who are going around posting on Louise's Instagram stuff like that, I think they're only allowed like a certain amount of internet time a week. So I don't think they'll be able to listen to us.
They waste it doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine that. You've only got so long on Earth, and that's how you're spending your time. But imagine like Louise just posting a nice thing about like a day out that she's having with her mates and stuff like that, and just imagine commenting on that, going, "Oh, I preferred Alex and Alexa."
It's absolutely atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious.
Unhinged.
It's madness. It really is madness. It really is madness. But yeah, that's a new segment, and yeah, I think we don't want to bang on about too much, but that'll be a nice little bit to it. And if anyone listening goes, "Oh, that's a bit," don't want to hear them saying something nice about one of the girlfriends every week for 5 seconds, then fuck off.
if you can't handle something nice being said about a woman in a modern world, then maybe take a good look at yourself. Someone
saying something horrible being brought up with a name that won't even be theirs online, then I don't know what to tell you. So where are we starting on our list, Nick? Do you want to start with the album, or do you want to leave that? Or
yes, let's start with the album, the tracks from the album in order of least favorite to favorite. Shall we start with that?
Yeah, so we're still starting from the least favorite, obviously.
Yes, we are, mate. Yes, we are.
So who's going first? Shall I go first? My least favorite was. I have thought the whole way through the series that one particular song would be my least favorite because it's technically my least favorite Arctic Monkeys song. However, I have replaced that with another purely because I've gone from not loving a song. I've always thought it was a bit meh, but going from that to viscerally hating it to the point where, okay, so it's Old Yellow Bricks. Put that out there now.
Yep. Same.
Same for you as well. So I thought yesterday, I'll just crack down on these lists, and I thought, oh, I know, just so I can make my final decision while I'm working, I'll just crack on the favorite worst nightmare vinyl, right? Flip it over, get to Old Yellow Bricks. I physically got up, lifted the needle of the vinyl, and moved it over to until I could see the line where it's probably 505, like the last, because you can see, can't you, if you look the line. So I just sort of punked down 505 and skipped them two. And I thought, yeah, I can't even listen to it. When it started, I was so annoyed by the fact that it wasn't as clever as I thought it was, to the point now where I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand the thought of it. I don't know why either. It wasn't even that bad a thing that happened, but yeah. So now it's been least favorite because the bad thing was an assumed least favorite.
That's what we expected going into it, wasn't it?
And now because this one was a surprise least favorite that I can't even listen to at the moment, which could change, but can't even listen to at the moment means that it has to go last for me. It has to.
Same.
And
absolutely same for exactly the same reasons.
Yeah, it's just It's dead to me. It's dead to me.
I'm assuming. Well, so, yeah, I've gone for the same. Nothing else needs saying because you've just wrapped it all up there. So second to last, I'm assuming we've both got the same thing. The Bad Thing.
Bad Thing.
Yeah,
Bad Thing.
would have been last up until our
it's-
expose of Old Yellow Bricks.
Yeah, I think, and I think a lot of people will be surprised that we've done that probably, but I think most people would agree that The Bad Thing is the worst song on the album anyway. But we have a more personal reason for putting Old Yellow Bricks there, I guess. But yeah, The Bad Thing, as we said on the episode, it's just one of their weakest tunes ever.
It feels like in the time we've been covering all the songs from this era, it feels like there's been like a Dispatches special on Channel 4 about all the bad stuff Old Yellow Bricks has done. And
Panorama
it's just
dispatches all
cancelled
get
it.
brought tonight, aren't they? The
I
shipping
didn't want to say
forecast.
Panorama again. It's a long word.
Yeah, I just think, yeah, look, I still think, objectively speaking, The Bad Thing is probably a worse song than Old Yellow Bricks. But
Old Yellow Bricks has rubbed us up the wrong way.
it's rubbed us the wrong way. It's a very
Second-
personal,
second start.
visceral reaction. It's like when, it's like when there's a film that everyone loves, like Shawshank Redemption. Everyone loves that, and I hate it, and I can't. It rubs me up the wrong way. It's like that. Everyone else will be like. Some people will probably have Old Yellow Bricks in the top 5, but you know, I mean, that would be mental. But having it last is yeah. But yeah, that's my 12 and 11, Old Yellow Bricks and The Bad Thing. So I would have number 10. So this is where are we going to dive? This is where I could see our list massively diverging, perhaps. Perhaps not at this point, actually. But my number 10 is D is for Dangerous.
Okay. My number 10 is also D is for Dangerous.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, I thought it might be because look, as much as we said last week that this album hasn't like stayed with us, and it might even be our least favorite, or second to last least favorite. I think there are a great collection of songs on this album, and when you pair them up to do a list, even though I don't mind D's for Dangerous if it comes on, I've got no issues with it whatsoever. I actually quite enjoy it. It does pale in comparison to all the other songs, unfortunately. Like, yeah, if Old Yellow Bricks hadn't rubbed us up the wrong way, I think D's for Dangerous would probably have been in 11th place. I think it would have been The Bad Thing, D's for Dangerous, and then whatever then. But yeah, so yeah, it's just the next week's song for me. That's all it is really, musically and lyrically.
It's absolutely same.
It did give us the album title.
Yeah, so props to it for that. Well done.
Yeah, but unfortunately that ain't enough. So that's your number 10 as well. Okay.
It's my number
How
10
are we
as
going to
well.
divulge? So what's your number 9 then? Where are we going to fall different here?
I don't know. My number 9 is Balaclava.
My number 9 is Balaclava.
I honestly, man, I thought it might be. I think it's at the top
Yeah.
where we're going to see different. I think we'll both have the same favourite, actually, based on what's been said already.
I'm pretty certain we do. Like we knew last series we would. But so what's your reasoning with Balaclava going? What?
Just very much the same as D is for Dangerous, really. Just it's good. It's good. Again, if it comes on and buzzing, if they brought it back into the live sets, I'd be absolutely loving it. But just in terms of it's more to do with the strength of some of the others than any weakness that Balaclava or D is for Dangerous have. I mean, Bad Thing and Old Yellow Bricks, we've pinpointed the weaknesses with that. I think we've been pretty unequivocal in the weaknesses that exist there. But with
just pale.
and Balaclava, they're just not as good as the others.
And it does have that lyric in it, the Shaggers one that we weren't really a big fan of now.
It makes a shit itch.
But I do like that the lyrics about like maybe a cook or maybe a girl's cheating on a. It's an interesting song, and that's why I think music. I was like, "Oh, D's for Dangerous, Balaclava. Which one is going to be in what order?" Because I knew they were going to both be there. But I think musically and lyrically, Balaclava is just a step above D's for Dangerous, even though D's for Dangerous has a good lyric and Balaclava has a lyric I really don't like. I still think Balaclava is a more interesting song because it has the kind of metaphor aspect to it. With the whole Balaclava thing.
And I think musically as well, with particularly the bass and the guitar riff, elevate it above D is for Dangerous as well, I think.
Yeah. Okay, no, I think I was kind of thinking if we weren't going to divulge, it would be them that would be there because logically looking at it, unless you had a personal like kinship to one of them, I would. I'm getting these words from tonight. I wouldn't
Stop it.
have. This is what happens when you read the new J.K. Rowling book. Sorry, I still read her books. I apologize. When you read the new J.K. Rowling book and the new, well, it's art and the artist. When
You
you
made
read
the money. It doesn't matter.
when you read the
Oh,
no,
let me
I
buy
just,
the book. Ooh.
I know. There's an app I use called Goodreads where you sort of put your reads and stuff like that. Of people I know use, and there's loads of people commenting and saying no one should buy this book. I'm like, she wasn't like a war criminal. It wasn't like Adolf Hitler's
No.
like book. but obviously some people feel about. I'm not bothered if you don't want to read it, but I separate that from the artist, and she's my favorite author probably of all time. So, but I've been reading that and the Succession scripts at the same time, so maybe this is where these bombards of words are coming from all of a sudden. Yeah. So, but I do think maybe next. No, sorry. Unless you had a personal kinship, logically looking at it objectively, Balaclava and D is for Dangerous would be the next weakest songs on the album, really. But I think we could diverge from this point. Diverge at certain points from this point on.
Yeah, not so good with the big words now, are you?
Hoisted by my own petard. There you go. That's a good one. But yeah, so my number 8, perhaps controversial for some, maybe not others. Brainstorm.
Really? Okay.
And I'll explain why. I'll explain. So yours isn't. So I'll explain why, and then you do yours. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's number 8 because I feel like it's easier to explain when you got the full list in a way, but just when I was doing the list and I was like, okay, well, I love that. That's at the top. This is my top 5. I did my top kind of 4 pretty quickly. And then there's one that is higher than you might expect, much in the same, well, I'll give it away if I say this, but I'll say it at the time, but it's a bit higher than you expect. And that ended up, when I listened to it, I thought, oh, that one's higher. And then I thought, well, that one's better. And then I thought that one's better. And then I thought, well, those 4 are the last 4. And that's just where it landed, because although it's an absolute tune, that it's just not. Do I still listen to it? Really? No. I loved it when it came out. It was an amazing moment, as we said, when it got released that night in the Morrison's cafe and in the canteen. I was sat listening to it, and you were at the bus stop, and I'll always love it for my memories of it. And it's always a tune live, obviously. But I never really crack it on anymore. I just know it too well. So for me, it just falls flat on the album now a little bit. But I say great live tune.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Worst of a bad bunch, I guess, is the phrase I'd say for that one. Of my top, like the top 8 on this album is a pretty good list of songs. So
it is, isn't it?
So unfortunately, it falls
so
now,
much. Yeah.
Go on. So what's your
similar vein, actually? I've gone Teddy Picker there. Again, not that it's particularly bad. I just don't enjoy it as much as the others. Again, it comes on. They play it live. I'm delighted. It's good. Always good to hear. Always enjoy it. But just, I don't know. I think there's a lot more going on in some of the songs that I've got above it, and that's what. But I almost think this kind of the way we're arranged, the way this list is looking so far, it kind of. It's almost kind of like
A side, B side.
Yes, yeah, and I didn't even notice that. But on top of that, it's almost foreshadowing how happy we're going to be to get to Humbug. Really, in terms of some of the stuff we're going to have picked high up, I think it just shows how good the Humbug series is going to be when we get on that. Because
I think the lists will be harder, maybe as well. I mean, I don't know now, but I think the lists from now on are going to be fairly hard for most of the albums.
Oh, it's going to be minging. It's going to be rancid.
The last one wasn't that bad. It was hard in places, but it was like, okay, well, we knew Certain Romance was going to be number 1, and we knew that like whatever we said was the least one, probably like If You Found This, or not If You Found This, if you you know which one I mean. It's going to see for the lights, or Vampires or something. We're going to be there down at the bottom. So you kind of knew, and just to fill it. But yeah, and this one again, yeah, it's kind of obvious which ones. I knew. Swear 70% were probably going to end up, and it was just the minutiae of a few different movements of another couple of minutiae. Another one, there you go. But I can't.
Stop it.
I can't. It's called an education. So okay, well, I'll say it should be your turn to say it, but I'll say it because was that your number 8?
My number 8, yeah.
Okay, do your number 7 then. Do your number 7.
So my number 7 is Fluorescent Adolescent.
Ooh.
Yeah, just nothing to say really. Just like it, good tune. I was delighted that they opened with it when we saw them. Delighted it's made its way back into the set list again, and made its way back out again. But we've got Hello You in the set list now, so that's a trade that I'll take. Yeah, it's just the top 6 that I've got have been my top 6 for a very long time, and nothing's gonna shift them.
It's hard. It's a tough album because first, so my number 7 is Teddy Picker for the same reasons as you, and really when I put it there, I knew. Okay, so also it's my turn to say the next one, isn't it? So my number 6 as well is Fluorescent Adolescent. So we're kind of there or thereabouts the same, just in a different order. And it's because, the same. I knew that what the top 5 was going to be. And I knew that those 3 were going to be above Balaclava, Stage, and that. And it was just what order. And I think the only one really that I was worried about, I knew that I personally prefer Teddy Picker to Brainstorm. I still listen to Teddy Picker and get a thrill from it. And also what tipped Teddy Picker a little bit over. The lyrics are better, and also I know this shouldn't really counter in, but I still have a huge affection for the video. I think I said it was my favorite video of theirs all time, which it is. So I think Teddy Picker just has that kind of, there's memories and there's stuff I love about it, like the first album almost. So Teddy Picker just pipped Brainstorm in that sense from that point of view. But Fluorescent Adolescent was one that I really was the only one outside the top 5 that I was really concerned with. It should be in the top 5, and I was like, "This is such a tune, and the lyrics are great, and it's an absolute belter of a song, and it's a riff that, like, if it wasn't on this album, on anybody else in the world's album, this song would be the best song on it, like hands down. But on a Monkeys album, unfortunately." It doesn't cut it, which good testament to the band. But yeah, it just had to go there. There was 6. There was just nowhere else for it to go because my top 5 is unfortunately locked in.
Yeah. Same. So my 6 is Do Me a Favor.
Oh.
Now it could, like, a lot of this. Ooh, if you ask me again in a few days, it could be like maybe number 3 or number 2, I think. But the mood that I was in when I was putting this list together, that's
number 6.
That's just how it's.
That's surprising. I thought your number 6 would be a different song, but it wasn't. So.
I mean, yeah. Now I.
I mean a song in particular. No, one song in particular. I mean, but
now I look at it, I'm thinking I've made a mistake, but it's locked in now. So
no, it's personal choice. So why did you put it 6?
Just because in the course, it would have been. I think the list would have been very different before we'd done this series. It would have been a very, very different list.
Very much so.
And I think Do Me a Favor would have been top 2, top 3 at that point. Mm-hmm. But just some of the other tracks we've done, I've always some of the tracks I've got above it. I've always enjoyed them, and I've started enjoying them even more since we've had a deep dive into them. So that's it, really. That's okay. That's all that separated them.
So as we enter the top 5, the current order of both of our lists are Old Yellow Bricks, The Bad Thing, D's for Dangerous, Balaclava. Then in 8th, Brainstorm, Teddy Picker for you. And then in 7th, Teddy Picker, Brainstorm. And then in
I've got Fluorescent Adolescent.
Oh, sorry, 7th. It's 7th, yeah. Have you had Teddy Picker yet then?
Yes.
Wait, you know what? It'd be so much easier if I just say my 5 and you say your 5 rather than I'm trying to do it in that really obtuse way. So my last one is Old Yellow Bricks, The Bad Thing, D's for Dangerous, Balaclava, Brainstorm, Teddy Picker, Fluorescent Adolescent. That's my first 5.
Mine so far is Old Yellow Bricks, Bad Thing, D's for Dangerous, Balaclava, Teddy Picker, and then Fluorescent Adolescent, Do Me a Favor.
So Brainstorm. Brainstorm hasn't made it. I am Brainstorm is in your top 5, right? That's interesting. Okay, so it's your turn to do your 5th one.
So in 5th, I have gone Brainstorm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I obviously I it fell there for me, as I said. Why have you put it in the top 5? Because top 5's, the big we're in the big guns now. It's not quite the top 3,
It's,
but it's still pretty
again,
good.
it's similar to everything surrounding the first album. Again, it's my memories of hearing it. It's that whole thing of just waiting. In fact, we didn't even have to wait that long in comparison to how long we have to wait for new material from them these days between albums. But because we had the Who the Fuck EP, and then they were already at work on this, and then I can still picture it exactly where I was, like listening to it. I remember felt like speaking to you while it was on, and then I remember Zane Lowe playing it a second time, and just the fact it's a staple in the live. So I could not imagine going to see him live without that being the second track. That's the second track when they play live, and always has to be now. That's it.
Yeah, although actually I think it's still before AM it was the perfect first song though. There was no way I could hear another song first until AM. But technically it's actually the opener in a way, because they were just throwing in like a big tune ahead of it at the gigs, weren't they? They were just throwing in a random song that didn't really make sense as an opener, just as a moment for the crowd, and then going into Brainstorm.
You certain romance.
Looking at you,
you ruined that, Sheffield.
Oh, don't bloody hell! Don't get them started.
First night of the tour was Mardy Bum as well. That was one out of the blue, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. I'm intrigued by. Yeah, Brainstorm. I didn't think Brainstorm would be that high for you, but I didn't think another song that hasn't been mentioned yet will be that high for you, which I'm about to mention as my number 5 is Only Ones Who Know. There was a point where this was second in my list. That tells you how much I like this song, and again a bit akin to my experience with Riot Van, the last album, where Riot Van was second in my list, if you remember, and was a lot lower in yours, but I had a moment with Riot Van last album where I thought I really love this tune, and it was a similar thing with Only Ones Who Know, where I just thought this is a beautiful tune, but not quite to the extent of Riot Van. So it was second, but then I kind of thought, no, actually, I'm going to put this one. This one needs to be in the top 3. But it did have a brief period there. But yeah, I just think it's an absolute beauty, and we disagreed on what it's about, but musically, and that means, which is interesting because we're both reading the start. In a way, we're both reading the sound of the music differently as well. Is what came out in that episode was that I was hearing it as melancholic sadness, and you were hearing it as romance. Which they're only a stone's throw away from each other, but there is a subtle difference. So that was interesting.
They are definitely bedfellows, are they not?
Yeah, it was probably the most interesting episode. One of the most interesting episodes of the album that we did. So yeah, it's my number 5. It's in my top 5, locked in.
My number 4 is 505 at number 4.
Number 5. You haven't done your number 5, have you?
Yes, my number 5 was Brainstorm.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, number 4, 505, and great. On another day, it might well have been a place or two higher. It's not going to be number 1, but it could have been a place or two higher. It's a weird one with 505 because it's one that's been a fan favorite for a long time, despite not being a single. It had this revival off the back of TikTok and everything, and I've kind of had a new love for it pretty much since the shows. Since they've been back on tour for this album, and watching the shows on YouTube, and then going to the cricket ground in Manchester. Kind of, it's crept back up there for me now. I love it. Yeah.
My number 4 is 505 as well. So we're the same with that one. I think, yes, same as you. Also, because there was a point where it was like way low down the list, and I thought, is it that good? And then it went up the list, and then I was like, do I prefer it to Fast Adolescent, and switch them around? And it was probably one of the ones that moved, or the one that moved the most. And then I listened to it again on that vinyl, listen through, and I thought, there's no. And when we did it, I remember really enjoying it. Listen to it again, but there's no escaping the kind of beautifulness of the lyrics and his singing voice and the organ, Miles's cracking guitar on it and stuff like that, and the way it comes in and everything. It's just an absolute tune. There was a time in a world where it may have been number one on this list, and I'm sure there's many people listening to this that can't believe we haven't got it as number one, or they've got it as number one. It's this album, Certain Romance, blah blah blah. But unfortunately, it doesn't quite creep into the top. My favorite three, but yeah, absolute tune, and it should well deserve to be in the top 5. I'm glad I gotta put it there and didn't like keep it out of there, because that would have been a bit outrageous. Would it be outrageous to say?
It's getting very I'm starting to see how it's going to be looking now.
Well, my number 3 is top 3 now. Very exciting. Top 3. Mine is Do Me a Favor. I think when I wouldn't, you know what, Never in a Million Years would have been in the top 3 or top 5 before we covered this series, and then upon re-listening to it, maybe a bit older, maybe a bit more. I remember liking it at the time. I loved it at the time, but I don't think it would have been like this. List would be so different if I'd done it 20 years ago as well. Oh, not 20 years, 20 years ago. Like not there yet. If I'd have done it 15 years ago, this list would have been very different. It would have been like Teddy Picker number 1 and shit. But I think like now listening to it, and yeah, the bass is absolutely incredible. The drums are great when it comes in for me, and the sort of the breakup thing and some of the lines and the perhaps fuck off might be too kind and stuff like that nails that kind of breakup like that. So yeah, top 3 easy. The only thing keeping it from number 1 are 2 better songs. And arguably so for some, but yeah.
Yeah, that does it, doesn't it? So I've gone 4. So we're on number 3, are we not? So number 3, I have gone for This House is a Circus. Again, another one that prior to this series probably wouldn't have been. It'd be close to top 5, but I don't think it would have been. Don't think it would have been top 3, but it is now.
Wow, I just realised what's going to be in your top 2. And probably number 2. I never would have thought it. It's like me last season with Riot Van, isn't it? So number 3, This House Circus. Yeah. What can you say really? It's yeah. So you just
it's got a bit of everything as well.
It's an absolute tune. There's no doubt about it. And it's one of 2 really well musically done songs on this album. Like, I mean, they're all good, not to say, but there's 2 songs that surpass the others, like musically, I'd say, and this is one of them. But so that's your number 3. What's your? Oh, come on, give me a sense. What's your number 2? Nick's second favorite song on Favorite Worst Nightmare.
So number 2 is Only Ones Who Know.
There was a time, like I say, when this was my number 2 as well for a brief period of time.
I always liked it when it came out. It's always one of my favorites, even though I was into the sort of stomping indie rock at that time. There was just something about that track. And then when he did the version with Richard Hawley as well, the version with Richard Hawley, great. And then even when Tony Christie did
great,
the cover a couple of years later, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, imagine Arctic Monkeys did stuff that sounded like this. That'd be pretty cool, that would. And then lo and behold, there it is.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think it's like it was the beginnings of those little stirs of like even Suck It and See and stuff, I suppose. Just as you'd had Riot Van, you'd had a few bigger boys and stuff like that, and you've had this, you got the beast where you start to think like, oh, that they are good at Mardy Bum, they are good at doing like melodic songs, maybe, do I dare say. That this pretty banging indie rock band, pretty good at doing the slow ones. And then obviously they cemented that with the next album, one of them, or 2 of them, you could say, probably one of them more. But yeah, that's pretty good. My number 2 is This House is a Circus. Same reason as you, absolutely banging put together. In fact, you know what? It was so close it was so close to being 3rd. It was so close to being 5th, and Only Ones Who Know being 2nd. But and we may as well say what our number 1 is, because everyone will know, because there's no songs left. But both of us have gone for If You Were There, Beware as our number 1, which I think on the episode we actually confirmed we would be doing, because we loved it so much. We realized, I
I think
think
I decided on that before the episode, and then the episode just solidified it for me.
I think one of the reasons it got to number 2 is because of its pairing with If You Were There, Be Well. This House of Circus is pairing with that. But I'll tell you what, Nick nearly did denote it down. And it's something we're going to do a bonus episode, not next week, but the week after. I may as well say it, where we're going to go through all the things that we may have missed for both albums. And then we're also going to play some clips from some really interesting interviews that we found with Matt and Alex, where they say some things that missed. And one of the things that came to light, just as a little prelude to that pod, is that I potentially started to think that we were wrong about This House of the Circus being a metaphor for fame. So then when I went to listen to it, because I don't think it is, by the way, I think it is just about a party, and we'll get to that when we do that pod. So keep you on suspense of why I think that. But when I listened to it, I was scared I was going to have an Old Yellow Bricks reaction to it, where I'd thought it was this really clever song about someone. It wasn't, but it's such a good song that it just earned its place. It didn't matter, unlike Old Yellow Bricks, it didn't matter that I maybe got the lyrics wrong and it's not as interesting, because it doesn't matter, because it's an absolutely wild ride. So it's just a fast-paced, cool. No one at the time was doing anything like this on these. So yeah, absolute banger. And If You Were There Everywhere, I assume we've both put it there at the same reasons. It's best musically well put together song on the album by far. I think
So
I remember it used to be my favorite, and then I forgot. So if we'd done this list before we covered it, I would have forgot. I think we'd talked about this on the episode, but the kind of metal sound to it almost, and that kind of, they'd not done anything like this song at this point. With all the others, you could go, oh yeah, well maybe it's a bit. This one, they'd never done anything like it, and it was exciting.
it absolutely was. It was great, yeah. Very, very.
And then
the Queens of Stone Age thing coming through already.
And the drums are phenomenal in it as well. Both guitars are on full game, full 100%. The bass is great. The lyrics are also about something quite personal, which is not something we always get, and really clever with that. And it's got a little breakdown in it that we'd never had them do anything like that before in that way. Experimenting. It's got the experimental stuff in there, and I just think it's almost a bit. It's a bit horror-y, the song as well, isn't it? Not the band, actually the sort of sound it's got. Yeah, so I just think it's quite clearly, it might not be the catchiest song or the most commercial one. It might not be Floss Adolescent. It might not be Takeover, but I think it is quite clearly the best song on the album. And I find it sad that they haven't ever thought about bringing it back for that reason, because the fans don't bang on about it.
It'll be interesting to see what if our theory of getting a rock album or a rockier album, more
yeah, but that's definitely not going to happen now, because we're always wrong about it. So
well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Dan. I mean, what
it'll be an 80s synth album
eh?
or something. Which I
I'd
wouldn't
say-
be
I'd
opposed
take
to
an
be quite
80s
honest.
album. Yeah, in fact, I want that more than a rock album now, I think. We've heard Hello You. We need a bit of synth.
Yeah. I know a gothic, that's the word I was looking for If You Were There Everywhere, which you could also say Hello You falls into that category a bit as well, as does some of Humbug.
I'll tell you what else fits into that. What else I always see as being gothic, and it might be a bit of an out there suggestion, but She Looks Like Fun. I don't know. Just the start of She Looks Like Fun always makes me think of some 50s black and white horror film. I don't know why.
I know exactly what you mean, and I tell you what, it's funny you say that, because I've always, for some reason, whenever I hear the doom 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 and the She Looks Like Fun, I always think about the Monsters for some reason.
This is that's exactly what's in my head.
I don't know why. And then the thing I love about that song is that now we get to it, but the verses are quite melodic and very sort of almost cabaret in a way in between that. But yeah,
I mean, if we're listing weird things that songs off Tranquility remind us of, science fiction reminds me of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Again,
I know what you mean. It actually just reminds me of a black and white old silent science fiction film where there's a scientist in a lab in black and white, doing some weird shit. That's kind of which itself is what it's supposed to do, I imagine. But anyway, we got plenty of we'll have plenty of times. Wait till how long the episodes are for that album. But fucking mental. But yeah, good list. I say so. So If You Were There Everywhere is I think we both experienced that at the same time, covering it, that it was quite clear the best song on the album. And I think you could feel it when you listen to it. Yeah. Yeah. And I do wish they'd pull it back out. I remember looking and wishing they'd pulled it back out for that Metallica gig, but they didn't. But I just think it's a weird, when they go through the list, it's a real shame that they don't give it more credit than it deserves, because it, of all the songs that I could have, I've decided so far, of all the songs I could have so far, let's take Certain Romance as Red, put that away in a corner, because otherwise, well, no list worth doing if that's in it, is it? Because you're always going to want that live. So
you're going to ruin it.
Put that one as Red. If I could pick one song for them to play live now off these two albums, it would be If You Were There Beware for me.
Same. Absolutely the same.
I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it live. But yeah, so
especially
my
10, now that we've had
Mardy
one come back as well. So yeah. So
my 12.
Definitely one album back.
Good list, I'd say. Fairly similar. I'd say Old Yellow Bricks, Bad Thing, D's for Dangerous, Balaclava, Brian Storm, Teddy Picker, Fuss Adolescent, Only Ones Who Know, 505, Do Me a Favor, This House is a Circus, If You Were There Beware. For me,
I am Old Yellow Bricks, Bad Thing, D's for Dangerous, Balaclava, Teddy Picker, Fuss Adolescent, Do Me a Favor, Brian Storm, 505, House of the Circus, Only Ones Who Know, and also If You Were There Beware. Now, do we want
the only ones where we've really diverged on is Only Ones Who Know and Do Me a Favor, isn't it? Really, that's the only ones we've really, and even then it's only by a few places. But yeah, they're the only ones where we've really differentiated, really, which is interesting because it's exactly what happened last year with Riot Van. But you've done it this year.
Yeah.
This time. Oh, this year. It's this year. Yeah, it's this year. So yeah, do we want B-side orders or do we want Dream Live set?
We'll have B-sides because it mixes it up from just listing the same songs we've already listed. So B-sides. So we've got 11 to pick from.
Okay, so shall we?
Is that correct?
Are we just going to? Yes, we do. Yes, 11. Yeah. So my 11, purely on a technicality, actually, I'll be honest, is Bad Woman. Now, it would be higher than a couple, but as it's a cover, I thought I can't really put it ahead of anything that's a Monkeys tune that's written in a way. So it kind of got put there it got put there for me as a technicality, is what I'll say.
Can I shock you?
Yeah.
Same for the same reasons.
It just feels wrong, doesn't it, to put one that they didn't really write as a yeah. But I think it would be higher if it wasn't a cover. I think.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 10, the Death Ramps, for similar reasons, really, in that it's just an instrumental of the band. There's not much more to say about it.
Yeah. Same for me. 10 Death Ramps. Yeah.
Now, number 9. I wonder how different this list will be. It's interesting.
I think we're going to be the same.
I think they're two of the obvious ones to go last, aren't they? I don't think we will be the same on this, but let's find out. I think we're going to be quite different on this list, apart from maybe the top 2 or 3. Top 3, I think, will be the same in different orders, maybe. But and number 9 for me, Plastic Tramp.
Okay. Yeah.
Because is yours the same or not? You don't have to say what it is, but no. Okay. So purely because much like D's for Dangerous, I kind of listed and I was like, oh no, I was moving stuff up the list and I was going like, oh no, I do prefer that one to Plastic Tramp. I'm going off like, what would I put on? What would I listen to? I mean, I hadn't, until we covered it, I hadn't listened to Plastic Tramp for about 12 years. But I mean, I just thought, okay, it's got a guest guitarist, is another smudge upon its name, but it's at about 505, so it's not really fair. But I just wouldn't ever. I just don't really. Don't love it. It's all right, innit? I just don't love it. That's simply it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I in that slot, what number is that? That's number 9.
9.
So I've got Matador there for the same reason we had Death Ramps in. Really, when you've not got a lot of lyrics to critique something on, that'll kind of put it down a bit for me.
What's your 8?
8 for me is Temptation Greets You Like Your Naughty Friend. It's all right, innit? It's fine.
It is all right, yeah. My 8 is Matador. For again, like you say, okay, so you're right in that, like Death Ramps, it's an instrumental. There's not much going on, but on reflection, when I was doing the Plastic Tramp thing, I was like, I'm more likely to crack on Plastic Tramp and enjoy it, I'm more likely to crack on Matador and enjoy it. And the answer was firmly Matador in my heart. So I would rather. I love the little bit where he sings. I just like the way he does it, and I love the sound of it, and also the kind of it's a cool concept that might be bullshit that you could hear the narrative structure. But I think we kind of proved it a bit. We proved it a bit. I think when we did it, there was a part of it where we said it was a bit like him going back to the girl to get the girl. So yeah, I think that makes a little edge to it. But yeah, I just really I would rather listen to it than the three before it really. And my number 7 is Temptation.
Okay, my number 7 is Plastic Tramp. So we're pretty close.
We're pretty close, yeah. Temptation again, yeah. It's all right, isn't it? I do like listening to it, and Dizzy makes it funny, but it's yeah, it's all right. It's about it, really.
Probably the last thing that Dizzy made funny.
Certainly not marriage. So for the first lot there, we're all the same, just in slightly different order again, aren't we?
Yeah.
But I think that is the right answers. That's the problem. So, but we might divulge in the top 6. We'll find out with number 6 before we get to the top 5. Mine is if you found this, it's probably too late.
Thank you. My 6 is Nettles.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's if you found this is my 6 because I really prefer it to the ones before it. I don't prefer it to any of the ones ahead of it, and it is just a quick one. And that's it, really. That's it. Just follows a bit like some others. It fell where it fell because I like it more than them, and I don't like it more than them. So, and I think it is short and sweet, isn't it? And yeah, it is what it is. But it's cool. I like it a lot. It's a cool song. But yeah, so yours is Nettles. That's very interesting.
Mine's Nettles.
Why so?
Again, for the same reason as you. I like it. It might have been possibly a little bit lower, but I always think of something that we didn't mention in the episode, actually, on the Live at the Apollo version. Beforehand, Alex says, "Oh, these cameras, they're filming because this has actually been shown in the centre of Berlin now." So if you shout loud enough there, yeah. And then they also go, England, England. He does a little point at Matt and goes,
yeah, he laughs back at Matt.
Which is just joyous.
Yeah, because it's I always like that because it's like for me, it's almost like knowing that some of the people in their audiences are knobheads, which is how I always felt when I was at the gigs. And the type of people that when you hear there's a crowd in Germany would start chanting England, which is exactly what people in other countries think that we do. It was so fucking obvious. So yeah, I love that kind of. I felt like that was a laugh at those people a little bit. But yeah, so that was your number 6, Nels.
Yeah.
Okay, so top 5 territory. Here we go. Top 5 B-sides of Favorite Worst Nightmare. My number 5 is The Frame 2R. I like it. I really like it. I think it's fun. I like the lyrics. They're clever, witty. Well, more witty than clever. More like first album witty. I like the riff. I like the little bit where it turned into a little rap song briefly. It's fun, but I don't think it's musically or lyrically as good as the others ahead of it.
Yeah, completely. We're not far off. My 5 is If You Found This, It's Probably Too Late. Again, for the same, it's I think too short to have it any higher, but there's some good stuff in there that elevates it above what we've already had.
So the big question is whether our top 3s are going to be the same. Is your number 4? That will only happen if your number 4. That could only happen if your number 4 is Frame 2R and my number 4 is Nettles. That's the only way that our top 3s could be the same. What is your number 4?
I'll be honest, mate. My number 4 is The Frame 2R.
Oh, similar reasons as me.
Yeah, good.
I'm still saying Frame 2R as well.
Back in the day, it was a favourite, but having gone through them all again, there's the ones above it wouldn't have been above it before this series, but they are now. So tough shit. That's where they're going.
So the only way this top 3 is going to be the same is if my number 4 is the Nettles, which it is.
Don't do the pause. You're not Davina. Whoever's hosting it now.
Oh, probably. Well, didn't Brian fucking Dowling do it for a bit when it was on Channel 5?
Remember
Rylan
doing it?
Oh yeah, Rylan. If they brought it back, he's not even on anymore, is it? But if they brought it back, Rylan will 100%.
Are you mental? It's back this weekend.
Is it? I don't bother myself with stuff like that. I'm in a bubble, mate. I purposely. I've created
some of us applied for it, mate. Some of us applied.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You can handle the psychological nature of that show.
I know.
Too fragile.
I want it to see me off. I don't have the. I don't have the balls to
Like
kill
Les
myself,
Dennis feeding the
so
chickens.
I'm going to get Big Brother to do it for me. Yeah, I applied, mate. Yeah.
You're not even nearly as much of a cunt to make it on that show, mate.
Well, the reason I applied is because
Different kind of cunt.
they're taking it back to its roots, like the genuine social experiment thing where they're getting.
What channel is it on?
Exactly, ITV2. I'm assuming it's going to be Love Island type people, but apparently it's not. By the sound of it, it's not. So I'm going to be watching it. With
ITV2 though.
I'm
not watching it. No, I'm done with that. I've
I'm
created a bubble
gonna give
where
it a
stuff
go.
like that doesn't get to me really, except for people like you seep stuff in. But I've got a whole bubble. That's why I took myself off Twitter so I wouldn't find stuff like this out. But now I'm tempted to watch it. But this is why I don't want to know. I don't want to lower my. I've perfectly created a world of just having like good things around me. Like you getting in my head like this.
Poison with your phone envelope.
Yeah. Poison me your ITV2. But yeah, so Nettles, yeah, pure. But I think Nettles is higher than you put it because I think it's a better song purely because I think it's just a cool song. It's a lead into Humbug, and I think the lyrics are like we had fun deciphering them last week. So I think I really love the lyrics to it. I really love the way he sings in it, and I remember hearing it thinking, "What the fuck?" At the time, an age that I was then, and how the band were then, I thought, "What on earth is this?" So yeah, that's why it's in top 4. But yeah, not good enough for top 3, obviously. So we've been there or thereabouts, haven't we, the whole way, really? But is the top 3 going to be identical? That's the question. I think it might be.
I don't think it will be. But
do you not?
We'll see.
Well, I think you think that because I previously said what is my number 3 would be my number 1, but I've changed it. It's changed throughout this process.
Okay, maybe.
So this would have been my number 1 B-side up until I remembered the beauty of some others. But number 3 for me is What If You Were Right First Time. I have to say it could be number 1 or number 2. But the first 3 are the best. The 3 that we've both got here, regardless of the order, are 100% the best 3 B-sides from this era. There's no question that no matter what order we put them in, these 3 are the best 3. There's no question about that. Like anyone else coming at me and say that any of the other songs that we've mentioned are better than these 3, then you're mental because these 3 are the best songs. But number 3 is What If You're Right First Time, because even though it's got a huge moment and I love it and it's such a good rock tune and I love the lyrics about the paranoia and stuff, but it's just I just think the others touch me more. Like a point into the doll and in a courtroom, it touched me.
Show me where What If You're Right First Time touched you.
Not down there. Touched me here in the heart. The other 2, Nick. But yeah, What If You're Right First Time, number 3 for me.
My number 3 is What If You're Right First Time.
Hey. However, I will say this: you might agree, you might not. If we were going off musically, What If You're Right First Time would be number 1. If it was just musically,
I was just about to say that. In fact, it was number 1 when I first put my list together.
Yeah,
and
me
then
too.
I also was touched in the heart by the other 2.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah, it's just an absolute it's an absolute banger. But I think the other 2. Now the question is, are these 2 going to be in the same order? So we may as well say the top 2. I may as well say my top 2, hadn't I? Actually, no, more suspensive to say. No, actually, it's the same thing, isn't it? So my number 2. Number 2 is Too Much to Ask, which means my number 1 is The Bakery. And the reason that I've done it in that order, because I thought that Too Much to Ask would be my number 1 at one point. But I think and it is an absolute tune, that the music's great. The bass is absolutely sublime and slick, and what a great bass line. And the lyrics are really cool and reminds me, and spot on as well, of a relationship absolutely fucking crumbling before your eyes. Like he's bang on as usual with that kind of thing. But then when I played it up against The Bakery, The Bakery is just really special to me. It's just that melody, and it's like precursor to Cornerstone, but that melody and it, that every time I hear it just makes me warm and fuzzy, Nick, and the lyrics, and the last line kills me. For the past 15 years, that last line has killed me on every listen. Much like that, Cornerstone and Suck It and See, the last lines
Every time.
all kill me. By the way, just as a side note, how cool was that mirror that we saw in the dressing room on the back of Katie Cook's, previously Katie Downs, Katie Cook's, the mirror in the Arctic Monkey's dressing room on her photo on Instagram. If anyone didn't see it, it turns out in their dressing room they have written on the top of their mirror,
"You're a fool to me because I'm a fool for you."
what a cool. I want that on my. I've decided that next time I move or something like that, or buy a new mirror, I'm sort of demanding that goes. Even if it gets to the point where I just have to buy my own mirror, like a head one to have there, I want that written at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. I do apologize, everyone. So yeah, that's my two. Now the question is, are you in the same place, or have you? I've got a feeling you've flipped them.
The suspense, eh? The suspense. We'll find out after the break. Hey Dan, do you like listening to popular songs with questionable lyrics?
You know I bloody do. And Nick, do you like drinking copious amounts of alcohol?
Nah, do I ever? Actually a worry.
Well, if you're the same as us, then come listen to a weekly podcast, Liquor and Lyrics, where we take apart popular music's worst songwriting whilst drinking our favourite drinks, which kind of stay in theme with the song.
From Gin and Tonic to Grease Lightning,
Cosmopolitans with Chaz and Dave,
Blue Lagoons with Busted,
Sex on the Beach with Sex on Fire,
Shirley Temples with Shaggy.
and even a shandy with Sharon.
Dropping on Tuesday the 19th of September and every Tuesday after on your favourite podcast platform. Let's bit of jeopardy there before that trailer, but I have flipped them from what you've gone for. It was tough. They've
I thought you might,
jumped up
and I think I
and down
know
on each
why. I think I know why you flipped them. Can I hazard a guess?
I think I know why you think I've flipped them, and you'll be wrong. Go on.
I think you flipped them because of the content of Too Much to Ask and how familiar that might feel at the moment to you. Even though it shouldn't, it's been a year. But
No, actually,
you don't think that played a part
it's-
now?
I thought you were going to suggest the line about the thermos flask.
Oh no! I know you like that lyric, but I don't think you
it's
dare
the-
suggest that it's.
It's the chest touching on the back line that gets me,
Oh, even when I ruined it when we did a little bit about you touching my back.
especially when you ruined it.
Oh really? I thought of your personal reasons, like sparing the departure lounge, type thing. But I mean, don't get me wrong, they are interchangeable. I mean, I think musically, it's tough because I even tried to do it musically. I went, when I was trying to pick which one, and the bass line wins Too Much to Ask, but the guitar lead in The Bakery is beautiful. And if we didn't have
that's good.
Cornerstone, The Bakery would be like an absolute banger. If we didn't have Cornerstone and Suck It and See, which thank God we do, The Bakery would be like this tune they did, but then they kind of replicated that sound and improved it and made it better over 2 albums. So
I think the very fact that though we've both got the same top two there just shows how much fun we're going to have on series 4 of this when we get to Suck It and See.
well, it's ordering Suck It and
It
See. For me.
just shows how much fun we're going to have on that. Like, I almost want something to come out about like Josh Homme to the point we'll have to like cancel the whole of the Humbug album and just go straight to Suck It and See.
No, I think Humbug's going to be a wild ride. Humbug's my wild card, baby. Humbug's my because I think
Anything could happen.
Because I think, like I've been saying, that I think Tranquility could overtake Suck It and See when we cover it as my favorite album. But I don't know where Humbug's going to land when we cover it. For all I know, Humbug's going to fucking come round to the front of the race. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere. So maybe that'll be number one. So I'm intrigued by Humbug more than anything. And really studying it as an album as well. We finally get to, nothing against these songs, but the fact that we put If You Were There Beware as number one kind of tells you that we're kind of ready to maybe study the music a bit more, like being able to notice little moments and little things. I almost wish there was a way we could listen to bits of the song that we mean live rather than me editing them after, because there'll be so many nuances, but I don't know how we would do that. Figure that out. That would be.
I'll think about that.
Yeah, I think it's quite impossible, but yeah, well, maybe. So here's my list then. So Bad Woman, Death Romps, Plastic Tramp, Matador, Temptation. If you found this, it's probably too late. The Frame to R, The Nettles, What If You Were Right First Time, Too Much to Ask, The Bakery.
I am Bad Woman, Death Ramps, Matador, Temptation, Plastic Tramp, Nettles. If you found this, it's probably too late. The Frame Tour, What If You Were Right First Time, The Bakery, and Too Much to Ask.
Shall I
Lovely.
walk you through my live set? Dream live
Please,
set.
please do. Please.
Okay. So I remember my first album one was phenomenal. Now this one I found quite hard because the album order is really good live set. But it's a really well structured album. But here we go. Okay. Crack open with Brian Storm because I'm a traditionalist and I can't think of any better place to start a gig with these songs. How else would you start a gig than with that drum? So we crack open to Brian Storm. Brian Storm ends. I think I might edit in both of our live sets as a piece, by the way, for people. So do the whole chunks of both for people. But number one, Brian Storm, as it ends, straight into This House is a Circus. So Brian Storm goes out and then and then it kicks in. And the natural place to go once This House is a Circus ends is If You Were There, Beware, or else you're going to go. Perfect pairing on the album. I think perfect pairing in general. If You Were There ends the doom, 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 doom. And then doom, 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 doom to Old Yellow Bricks. Well, it's got to be in there, hasn't it? Dun, 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 and then Old Yellow Bricks. So it's still pretty banging for the crowd, still pretty bouncy. Old Yellow Bricks ends, so down, doom, 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 running off over next to his garden before the hour. So Balaclava, keep the beat up, and then when Balaclava ends, it's got that kind of slow, like doom, 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 doom. In a foreign place, the saving grace was the feet. It's straight into a nice little slow ballad there with it there, just to take the crowd, ease the crowd into the second part of the gig. So only ones who know ends, it kind of ends that.
I want this. I want this more than I want mine.
Straight into Flat Adolescent. Crowds like back up, sing along. You've had only ones who know. It's a bit of a nice, sweet moment, but then you're keeping the melodic going, but bringing the crowd back up. And then it's ends. How's it end? Oh yeah, it's just
I know.
He knew what he wanted to say, but he didn't know how to word it. So straight into another fast one. And then Diesel Dangerous ends in how does Diesel Dangerous end? However, these delightful. Do the bad thing.
Oh yes, you got to get in there somewhere, didn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately. And then that ends. You might make it worse. Doom. Not Phil Collins, but Teddy Picker. Teddy Picker, straight in there with Teddy Picker, and then People Like You. Yeah, and then obviously it's perhaps fuck off might be too kind. And again, because I'm a traditionalist, I'm going back to 505. Yeah, so that's the end. So that's my dream gig of this album.
a question of feeling than it is a question of fun. The confidence is the balaclava, I'm sure you'll baffle them good. With the ending reek of salty cheeks and runny makeup alone. You won't let her out of sight. That's right. You won't let her out of sight. Will you be able to boast and the day out the most for the highest of all time? You knew that it'd be trouble right before the very first kiss. Quiet and unassuming, but you were the day were the naughtiest. She pleaded with you to take it off, but you resisted and fought. I'm sorry, sweetheart, I would rather keep on the balaclava. Even if somebody could have shown you the place you wanted, well, I'm sure you could have made it that bit better on your own. You're the only ones who know. Just sounding it out, but you're not coming back again. The falling about, you took a left off last lane. You were just sounding it out, but you're not coming back again. You used to get it in your fishnets, now you only get it in your nightdress. You started off annoying after niceness, living in a very common crisis. Everything's in order in a black hole. Is everything as pretty as the past though? That bloody man is like an Tabasco. Now I used to be a rascal. He knew what he wanted to say, but he didn't know how to word it. The dirty little hermit was seeking an escape, but the place was well guarded. The guiltiness had started as soon as the upper part stopped. Tears for delightful and try and keep your trousers on. I think you should know you're his favorite worst nightmare. You should know you're his favorite worst nightmare. Do the bad thing. Take off your wedding ring, but it won't make it that much easier. It might make it worse. Oh, the night's like a whirlwind. Somebody's girlfriend's talking to me, but it's alright. She's saying that he's not gonna slap me or try to attack me. He's not the jealous type. time it occurred that there was something to destroy. I knew before the invitation that there was this boil, but she carried on suggesting a struggle to refuse. She said it's the red wine this time, but that is no excuse.
I'm full of. Don't feel good about mine now, to be honest. After the thought I put
I'm
into
sure it'll be fine.
it.
Plus, it's
so
because, isn't it? Sure, people will prefer yours.
As a fellow traditionalist, I am of course opening with Brainstorm.
Where else can it go? I tried to put it somewhere else just to be controversial, and I couldn't. Thought it's not going to work. I thought I'll end with it. Like what?
It's worrying how much time I've taken out of my life this last couple of days trying to fit Brainstorm elsewhere in a set when the band haven't bothered to do that. So why should
you
I?
You are housebound, so you know. You just got an excuse. I'm supposed to be working.
God bless sick now. So yes, Brainstorm into This House is a Circus, which I think you have as well.
Both. Yeah, I think we probably both had the same thought process of Teddy Picker's a natural place to go. So what's kind of like Teddy Picker but not, you know?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That was it. Yeah. So Brainstorm, This House is a Circus. Then I've gone D is for Dangerous. Probably have finished my pint by this point.
Oh right. So how's This House of Circus ends? Yeah, that works. That works in the same way it works with Teddy Picker. Yeah.
Yep. Out of D is for Dangerous into Teddy Picker.
Lovely.
Strawberry Nesquik fish cakes.
If I have to put my bonk with Louise back one more time, after me saying all that nice stuff about her video, we're just men.
D is for Dangerous, Teddy Picker, and then I'll probably nip to the bar for The Bad Thing and Old Yellow Bricks.
Oh, so you're going Teddy Picker into The Bad Thing. Makes sense.
Into
People
Old
like
Yellow
you
Bricks.
do the and then
have the lull in the middle that only me and you will be getting annoyed by. Only me and you will be like.
I considered that concept. Yeah.
Old Yellow Bricks, and then let's pick it up again. Final 3 tracks of the main set because I factored an encore into this.
I was going to say I didn't feel comfortable having an encore until we had
Steve,
2
maybe.
albums. Until we're doing. Well, I'll tell what we're doing next week in a minute. But yeah, I didn't feel comfortable with an encore yet. I was going to text you and ask, but go on.
So
if I would see a band and they had 12 songs in an encore, I'd be annoyed.
that's a good point. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. But tough shit. I'm having an encore. I'm on an encore.
So final 3 pre-encore. I feel like you've cheated. I know what you've done here. Go on.
Honestly, Old Yellow Bricks. So that goes into Balaclava.
Good shout. Yep. Similar vibe.
I cannot hear the end of Balaclava without hearing the start of First Adolescent.
Difficult,
of course. Yeah. And then the main set is ending with If You Were There, Beware. Fireworks, bang, big moment, just huge sound.
Looks like the
massive
band.
Experience. Quite right. And then they can fuck off. People can stand there chanting one more song like the annoying bastards that they are, when we all know that they're going to come on and do one more song anyway. Like save your energy, guys. Save your energy for the mass sing along. The swooning croon fest that is going to be Only Ones Who Know starting the encore in much the same way that they've got I Want to Be Yours in that spot recently. Just nice little slow, the erection section, if you will. And then my final, girl in your arms, king size Mars bar in the pocket, jobs are good and thumbs up. And then we're coming out of that into Do Me a Favour. And we are ending on 505.
Interesting. We both paired Do Me a Favour and 505 up as the last 2 songs.
Yeah. Just that emotional gut punch of both of them together is just that's going to send you home thinking, wow, that was biblical.
You found a way around what I was, because I was like, should I have the If You Were There Beware as the end instead of 505? And you found a way around that by having 2 endings. I was considering it, but then I think 505 is just a perfect end, isn't it? But yeah, as did the band, they found a way around it by having both 2 endings. But yeah, I'd enjoy that. I think any purist would enjoy, because I think the general crowd wouldn't enjoy Only Ones Who Know being the opener, even then. Being the opener to the encore, but the people like us and our listeners would enjoy the ones who know.
I'm basing that sort of thing on how they do things now. You know.
I think both solid, and you've heard both. Maybe we'll put a little poll there of what you prefer.
somebody's girlfriend's talking to me, but it's alright, she's saying that he's not gonna slap me or try to attack me. He's not the jealous type. And then the first time it occurred that there was something to destroy, I knew before the invitation that there was this boy, but she carried on suggesting a struggle to refuse. She said it's the red wine this time, but that is no excuse. Running out for the next door's garden before the hour is done. It's more a question of feeling than it is a question of fun. The confidence is the balaclava, I'm sure you'll baffle them good. With the ending reek of salty cheeks and runny makeup alone. You won't let her out of sight. That's right. You won't let her out of sight. Will you be able to boast and the day out the most for the highest of all time? You knew that it'd be trouble right before the very first kiss. Quiet and unassuming, but you heard that they were the naughtiest. She pleaded with you to take it off, but you resisted and for. I'm sorry, sweetheart, I would rather keep on the balaclava.
But have you got a favorite lyric on this album, Nick?
Oh, see, this was so tough.
I've just gone. You know what? I just went with one that makes me smile because I just couldn't be asked with the like I'm saving it for the ball ache that Humbug's going to be to pick the best lyric and onward. So I just thought for this one, I'm just going to pick one that makes me smile because the rest are just going to be ones that are really clever and important. So you want to play the jingle?
You can play the jingle.
First
indeed.
jingle of the show.
Find it finally.
Too busy with the mind on clever lines.
Well, I just went with just because I think it's always made me laugh even now, and I just think it's witty. It's first album-esque in a way, wittiness. Like now, when she's told she's going to get it, I'm guessing that she'd rather just forget it. I just think even though he uses the same word twice to rhyme, it's such a clever and funny, witty, pertinent. That's that song. First, I listen to a very pertinent song. As you get older, you realize even more so. But yeah, that I just think that just makes me smile and laugh every time. So I went with that rather than going for like one. I did have in there an alternate to that was perhaps to break the do me a favor and stop flattering yourself. Perhaps to break the ties that bind. To break the ties that bind. Perhaps fuck off might be too kind. Was my alternate.
For me as well,
that would be my clever one. That would be my clever one.
I've gone for I'll find it again now. They're trying to rob the words from a no, sorry, wrong one. What you're trying to dig up isn't there to be dug with thieves out the thug, as they're trying to beat the good grace of a sweetheart out to the point she'll comply. Especially given
Personal
we got the
connection.
lowdown on what it's about. I think that's great. I think it's a great line.
I think I put I think I wanted one from If You Were There Everywhere, but I didn't want to have to fight with myself over which one. So that's why I just thought, you know what, First Adolescent makes me smile and makes me happy, so I'll just go with one of them. Favorite musical moment on the album, Nick?
Bad sounds in your ear that make you get up and down.
This was not difficult at all. Given that my favourite song on the album, well, both our favourite song on the album is If You Were There Everywhere. I've picked my favourite lyric from that. Well, my favourite musical moment is coming from that. Specifically, the bit towards the end where it all comes back in there. And very specifically, the little bit Jamie does, where he does a
Yeah.
in the middle of it. Just that whole bit. Oh.
Do you know what I've got
It
written
all
down
comes
under
back in.
mine? I've got favorite musical moment on album when it comes back in on If You Were There Everywhere. Yeah, I mean it is. It's just the best bit of the album, isn't it? And all that whole bit and the end as well. The but a close second was also on If You Were There Everywhere. The bit when it's the drums and the guitar and it goes like the guitars go and the drums kind of do the beat, but the drums come in and do the beat as well. Yeah, that's a great moment. Very hip hop as well. So, okay, great. Well, I thought we might both go for that song. I do have a little hot take to pose to you, a little tiny one, just to see what you think.
Excellent. Let's do this.
She flicks a red hot revelation off the tip of her toe.
Love that. I love the video on that jingle. Oh god,
great,
that's
isn't it?
cool, isn't it?
Yeah, very exciting. So on the first album, you said that there's a perfect a selection of 3 songs that is From the Rich to the Rubble, When the Sun Goes Down, Certain Romance. No, sorry. Yeah, that was your 3, wasn't it? That you said are the best 3. You said that was the best 3 that they have until I think there was another 3 later on that maybe you said could beat it. But so I'm going to put to you that I think are better because let's just, again take Certain Romance as read. It's an incredible song. You take Certain Romance out of that 3, you know,
I know what 3 you're going to say. I'm
going to say, Do Me a Favor, This House is a Circus, If You're There Everywhere, potentially a better 3 than From the Rich to the Rubble, When the Sun Goes Down. And I'll say it, none of those 3 are better than Certain Romance. Take that as obvious. If You Were There Everywhere, close, perhaps, but not emotional or anything, so not. But I think Do Me a Favor is a better song than From the Rich to the Rubble, personally, although it's a tune. And I think This House is a Circus, or Do Me a Favor, actually, or any of the 3 I think could be better than From Rich to the Rubble, and could certainly be better than When the Sun Goes Down. So yeah, I think Certain Romance is doing a heavy lifting on that 3. You see,
well, I think so because of that 3, it's
and Ritz is
on the, I mean, I don't with Monkeys. I don't really like just like picking a song out and listening to it. I just feel better listening to a full art. If I'm in the mood for a certain Arctic Monkeys track, say for example, I'm in the mood to listen to Jeweler's Hands, I'll just listen to the whole of Humbug to get to it. But if I was to pick a song, I don't think I'd ever choose to just listen to When the Sun Goes Down in isolation. So I think there's a lot to be said for the point you're making there. Yeah, without a doubt.
And if you said to me, do you want to put on, even as a trisector, said, "Oh, do you want to listen to From the Rich to the Rubble, When the Sun Goes Down, Certain Romance?" Again, always down for Certain Romance. But if you said, do you want to listen to those three specifically, or do you want to crack on, Do Me a Favor, The South Six, If You're Everywhere? I think I'd go with the latter.
I think I might well do as well. Just because When the Sun Goes Down lets that 3 down a bit. Not that it's bad or anything, but I can go along with that quite happily. Yeah.
Cool. Well, there we go. Wrapped.
That concludes the part 2 of our the main bit of the wrap up. But what are we doing next week? Well, you mentioned it before, but tell them again.
Well, no, we're doing that the week after. I thought it would be funner next week, as we've just done some lists, to do some more lists. But this time we've got two albums under our belt, wrapped. So we thought it'd be fun to have a Whatever People Say and That's What I'm Not versus favorite worst nightmare episodes. So we'll do our list of favorite songs like we do, but this time they'll be intersected with each other. Will some songs move? Will some stay high? And we'll also be doing our live set with all of them in. Encore allowed on that one, definitely.
Oh, that's what I'm excited for.
And we'll do our favorite B-side list of all the B-sides from both. And we'll do our favorite lyric from both albums and our favorite musical moment from both albums. I feel like the first album might win the lyric one there, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think my musical moment will stay unchanged from this week. I think I get the feeling. But I've got a week listening ahead of me.
That's a bold move. It's a bold move, particularly with a song that we said was doing some heavy lifting there. But I think that would be cool to do our mixed ones. See what wins. See if a song from the first album's number one, or whatever our least favorite song on both albums. What's that going to be? Very interesting stuff. Ooh. But yeah, that's that.
We'll be back for that. Don't forget, if you've liked this, like, rate, review, subscribe, do all that. Check out our subscriber content where we've got Last Shadow Puppet stuff. We've got watch-alongs of various Arctic-related media and just loads of bonus stuff, as well as getting these episodes a week early with bonus pre- and post-show chat. Just general pop culture chat where we're doing a series of top 5s. What's the top 5 that we're doing next week again? 5 worst covers.
Worst covers. We did 5 best covers today, and we're doing 5 worst covers next week.
I think I've got about 37 of them, so I can.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Narrow that down to 5.
It's a lot easier to, even though it's just a lot easier to pick the things that you hate the most than it is the things you love the most.
Yeah.
And that might be the most poetic and philosophical thing I'll ever say. So,
and that's saying something because you used the word minutiae earlier. So
yeah, I certainly didn't say it. I didn't say it in that really northern way that you just said it. Minutia is just funny in your voice. But yeah,
I went on Sean Ryder. Excellent. Well, we will be back next week with that. Check out all of the podcasts where you're at it, Liquor and Lyrics, where we're dissecting a number of popular songs with great lyrics and having drinks while doing it.
I think this will, when this comes out for you lovely people, we'll have done. We'll not only have done Grease Lightning, Year 3000, Rabbit by Chaz and Dave. We'll also have done, when this comes out in 2 weeks, this one will be out, won't it? So we'll have done Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon, and It Wasn't Me by Shaggy will have come out yesterday, which was an absolute barnstormer of an episode, if I recall correctly. So
what a mix. What a mix.
And to come, Shape of You by Ed Sheeran.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're recording one tomorrow night as well. Should we let people in on which one we're doing tomorrow night?
No, I've just let them know the ones that they could have heard by now, because they will have heard we're doing Shape of You at the end of that one. What keeping suspense, because there's 2 in there. There's 2 that we've.
So. Have a look at what you could have won. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Right, say goodbye to the nice people then.
Goodbye.
Bye. Don't Believe the Hype is hosted and produced weekly by Nick Lee and Dan Holt. The music used in the titles is royalty-free music courtesy of Les FM.
Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast player of choice to be notified every Wednesday when a new episode is released. And if you want to help us out further, be sure to like and review to help make us more visible to like-minded souls. We will see you next week with more of the same.